Breaking right now, Prince Harry intends to use the Invictus Games to get revenge on Queen Camilla and, in turn, his father, King Charles. Angela Levin, the biographer for both Prince Harry and Queen Camilla.
Prince Harry is planning something big, something that could shake the very foundations of the royal family. And it might be his most shocking move yet, a move that no one saw coming. The 2027 Invictus Games are set to clash with Queen Camilla's 80th birthday, a significant milestone for the royal family.
Has said that Harry is deliberately choosing a date for the UK Invictus Games in 2027 to clash with Queen Camilla's 80th birthday. She says it's a long time away and the King and Queen don't have to go all the time or any time if they don't want to. But let me bring in royal YouTube sensation according to Taz now. Tash, we have seen that Harry seems to want to weaponize the Invictus Games in lots of different ways. Obviously, the past couple of weeks, it was used to launch Meghan's new social media strategy, believe it or not. Who cares about the injured veterans, right? Because we've got some jam to sell and to try and make people watch our terrible Netflix show. But it's going to take on so much more significance in 2 years, Tash, when these games are in the United Kingdom. What are members of the royal family meant to do? What are major politicians meant to do, given Harry is currently going through the process of suing his own government? But I feel like it just is such a bitter new low to try and overshadow Queen Camilla's 80th birthday.
Yes, it's obvious that Harry is going to somehow weaponize it, I think, against his family, because when he came over for the 10th anniversary, there was a lot of stuff that was being whipped up with the mainstream media then about the fact that no members of the royal family went along to it, but the Spencers were invited. And I just can't help but feel that Harry was really reveling in that and enjoying it. Now, obviously, with them, if they don't go to the Invictus when it's in the UK, I personally don't have a problem with it. I think Harry took the Invictus as part of his Brexit deal. It's not under the royal umbrella anymore, but the King is head of the armed forces. So being in the UK, it's going to be very interesting to see that the way that this plays out. Do I think that Harry is going to revel in it and help whip up some headlines and stir it up about he asked his family to support him, but they don't want to? And then you'll get the Sussex squad. They'll be chiming in saying about, oh, it's cruel that they're ignoring the veterans. But Harry has made the Invictus Games about him and Meghan more than the veterans. And I'm honestly interested to see how this is going to play out. I think I've got a few predictions. But as for Queen Camilla's birthday, she's 80. She's not going to care. I just think it would be the mainstream media that are going to stir up the biggest headlines there. I'm sure that she'll have a lovely birthday. The royals will celebrate it. They might do something nice. It's not like we're going to get a day off or anything, is it? You know, Camilla turning 80. But I don't know. It's really going to muddy the waters, and I can see complications arising. But it won't be so much as what the royals do or don't do. It'll be more from the mainstream media that are going to revel in this. They really will. I think they will heap it on.
And royal insiders are calling it no accident, suggesting there might be more to this story than meets the eye. Is this the final act of betrayal by the Sussexes? Or is it a calculated move to reclaim their narrative? Or just another media storm designed to keep the public and the press on their toes?
Absolutely. And the thing is, remember, Queen Camilla is the one who has totally seen through Prince Harry. She refused to allow him to use King Charles as a PR opportunity. Remember the morning after the cancer announcement? Absolutely. She was like, no, you can come and see him at the palace. Very briefly, that's it, because I am protecting my sick husband. And you're right, it's not that Queen Camilla will give a damn. It's more the fact that Harry will turn this into a media sideshow, because you can see the narrative they're already pushing, Tash, because at the end of the Invictus Games, the outgoing chief executive, Dominic Reid, criticised the UK coverage of the game, saying he was very disappointed with it, as if it was our fault. It's like, hang on a minute. It is your boss, Prince Harry, and his wife who have made these games all about themselves, that have gone off script, that have refused to work with the Invictus communications team, and you have the cheek to blame the British media. But this is the narrative that they are going to peddle.
Yes, it is. I mean, I don't think I agree with Brittany from Royal News Network. You know, she said about the fact that they don't do enough to promote the games, and they don't. And I've often said, I think if they want to get a better audience, they want to appeal to people, they need to spend more time on their marketing, but also interviews with the veterans. Think of all the reality TV shows and the singers and all of the competitions and all of the shows out there where you want people to watch. You've got to get people invested in the stories, and veterans have some of the most incredible stories of from their injuries, their recovery, the support that they had from friends and family. Let people get to know the veterans' stories, and that's something that I think that's down to Invictus. They need to do more coverage. People want to sit there and listen to the veterans talk about the journeys that they have taken. They want those inspirational stories. They do not want to watch Meghan Markle snog her husband and take 5 or 6 outfit changes and merch jewellery. People turn off. And the fact that Meghan was out there for the first few days, I think that that was a backfire. She almost would have been better coming towards the end, because at least then the concentration from the media would have been more on the game starting up, the opening ceremony, but even the speech when she introduced her love, her husband, the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry. I mean, could she fit anything else in there to big him up? And she basically told the veterans in so many words that they should be grateful that Harry worked so hard to get them all there. It's unbelievable how much they've turned the Invictus Games into the Harry and Meghan show, but they can sit there, and this is the organisers now, and not see any fault in what they are doing themselves.
Of course they can't. They're boasting about it. That is the most despicable part of all of this, Tash. You know, Town and Country remain one of the few handful of magazines that are directly briefed by Team Sussex and just put out constant propaganda. And they boast about it, saying at Invictus, Meghan takes back control of her narrative. The Duchess of Sussex is firmly in a new era of being online. So they literally are responsible for it being overshadowed themselves, and then they are boasting about it. I mean, come on.
Let's break it all down, piece by piece, and uncover the truth behind this unfolding drama. According to royal biographer Angela Levin, Prince Harry is deliberately scheduling the 2027 UK Invictus Games to fall on Queen Camilla's milestone 80th birthday.
Yeah, it's the same with Meghan using her Instagram, where she was taking lots of inside footage of the games. You know, that was trying to get traffic from people interested in the veterans and the games to Meghan's new Instagram account. So she was using them to get traffic that way. And then, I mean, they even said before she went, there was a PR expert that said that Meghan is going to use the Invictus Games to prove that everything is fine and well and hunky-dory between her and Harry. And of course, we had lots of smooching, lots of petting, lots of kissing, you know, showing the world that they're more loved up than ever. So Meghan did exactly what people predicted that she would do. And the fact that if people could predict she was going to do it, the Invictus organisers would be very well aware that Meghan uses the Invictus Games every single year as her own fashion catwalk and, you know, ability to be able to merch new bits of jewellery. And yet they allow it. They say, yep, no, that's absolutely fine. And then the decline, it's there for everybody to see. It wasn't just empty seats at the opening concert that people were sharing, because a lot of the empty seats were behind where the stadium was set up, and you always have that. But definitely where you saw the games continuing, there were very, very few bottoms on seats in comparison to what the Invictus used to pull in 2014, 2016, 2018. You know, these were huge crowds. It was massive. And now that it's away from the royal umbrella and Harry and Meghan seem to have full control of it, it's getting worse every year. And it's sad. It is genuinely sad to see.
And of course, Harry is totally inappropriate. He is such an embarrassment to the royal family now, Tash. He waded into politics, not only by aligning himself incredibly closely with Justin Trudeau, but by openly advocating for Ukraine at a time where there are massive sensitivities, and everyone knows that there are massive sensitivities in terms of the peace that is being negotiated. Now, it's no surprise to me that that coincided with Donald Trump doing a big 180 and saying actually he would now back a criminal prosecution against Prince Harry if he lied on his US visa application about drug use, with sources saying he should be very worried indeed. And this is the problem that they have got now, Tasha. They can't really keep doing this if they intend to keep on side with the Trump administration. We saw an on-the-record statement from Archewell this week as well try and suggest that actually Harry and Meghan have never endorsed a political candidate. Well, what a load of poppycock that is. Obviously, we saw the endorsement video before 2020. They didn't name Donald Trump. They didn't have to. And we all know about the real Meghan, the Trump-hating real Meghan from her pre-Harry days. I mean, look at this. I mean, Tash, come on. Can you believe Archewell are actually trying to say now with a straight face that Harry and Meghan never endorsed a political side? Well, come on. Why are they donating some of their only money that they've bothered to raise to Joe Biden's daughter? Why are they sending tens of thousands of other dollars to Democratic operatives? This is ludicrous, isn't it?
Coincidence? Hardly. This decision has sparked a lot of speculation and debate among royal watchers and the public alike. Many believe this is a calculated move to overshadow the event and potentially embarrass his father, King Charles.
It is. When you think that Hillary Clinton was one of the first people that was blessed enough to actually see Prince Archie when he was born, Meghan has clearly aligned herself with the Democrats for a very, very long time. And we all knew when Harry had his Forrest Gump moment, sitting on the bench, watching his wife and saying about, this is the most important vote, make sure, we knew exactly what they were saying. Meghan has endorsed, obviously, the Obamas. She tried to do a few things that Michelle Obama was promoting. It's very obvious which way Meghan politically sways. But yes, I mean, the fact that Donald Trump, he turns around and says, I don't want to do that when it comes to evicting Harry. And then Harry uses his Invictus speech to take a swipe at Donald Trump. We all know that's who he was taking a dig at when he said about, what was it, sort of like bad moral character in the world. And, everything that Harry and Meghan do, they're not exactly keeping their head below the parapet when it comes to anything to do with politics. Harry calling the First Amendment bonkers. Harry and Meghan certainly being involved with a lot of organisations that want to make adjustments really to, I think it's not just the First Amendment, but the Bill of Rights. There's lots of things going on that Harry and Meghan seem to have their fingers in many pies, and it all seems to be linked to these Democratic parties. And as for that payment going to Joe Biden's daughter, they made that payment a year before her charity organisation opened. So why would they be doing that,
Tash, I also wanted to ask you about Catherine, because I think she has had the most incredible few weeks, right? And I find it really sickening that the Daily Mail, and specifically the Daily Mail's editor-at-large, Charlotte Griffiths, seems determined to turn such a positive about Catherine and everything that she's been doing into a negative. It was summed up quite well, actually, by Prince William's jaw on X, who posted, Charlotte Griffiths refers to Princess Catherine as the dress-up, beautiful Princess Dolly, who only dresses in brown now. The deliberate, nasty slander is overwhelming, and we wonder why Catherine is dressing down and why Kensington Palace stated an end to announcing Catherine's clothing. I am really sick and tired of people trying to score personal points on the backs of William and Catherine. So let me just show the comment from Charlotte Griffiths on the Palace Confidential show that sparked this backlash, and then I'll get you to react after, Tash. Tash, I've got much to say on this, but over to you first.
The timing seems too perfect to be accidental, leading to questions about Harry's intentions and the ongoing tensions within the royal family. After years of family tension, this feels like a direct hit at the monarchy's core.
Just about to have a little bit of a rant here, Dan.
Do it.
Firstly, it's winter. It's winter. 90% of my wardrobe for the good 3-4 months that is winter in this country is dark. It's black, it's brown, it's green, it's dark, earthy tones. Right. And then the sort of engagements that Catherine has done. So this was when she went to the National Theatre with the school children. She's dressed conservatively because she was there as, a mum on hand, a school trip, right? So she's not exactly going to be running around in a ball gown. Then, of course, she went to Southport. And Southport, she wore darker colours. It's winter, but it's also not the sort of event, given the tragedies that happened in Southport, and she was there to pay her respects to the families affected. She's not going to be wearing a bright pink Alexander McQueen sparkly number, the women's prison. Again, is she meant to go there in a nice big Jenny Packham glittering gown? How about a rewear of her James Bond ball gown that was dynamite on the internet? No, of course she's not going to. She's gone to a few engagements where prisons, hospitals. She went to the place where she had her cancer treatment. She wore a lovely burgundy red polo neck dress. She is wearing colours. Just because she's not sitting there on the on that interview, that the lady that you mentioned that was just saying that, she's wearing a bright pink check loud number. Catherine doesn't need to wear bright colours all of the time. She doesn't need to wear ball gowns. I mean, these are serious engagements. And I do understand why she has said that she's going to stop, releasing this sort of information, because she doesn't want to be called a dolly bird by people like her. She's literally undoing the very reason. This is the exact reason, should I say, that Catherine is trying to maybe dress a bit more, I don't know, subtly? Is she even dressing subtly? As I said, it's winter. I really cannot get this from a handful of engagements. This has pissed me off.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. I love that rant. Because actually, can I just remind Charlotte Griffiths and the Palace Confidential team of a couple of examples in recent months? You've obviously mentioned the great example of in the Burgundy at the hospital, but here she is at Wimbledon. Right, one of her first public appearances, bright purple. And then here she is at her own Carol's Christmas concert, totally festive, bright colours. But I believe that after Catherine's cancer battle, she has absolutely decided that she wants to use her role in a powerful manner. She's actually doing the type of good that Princess Diana used to do. She's got a little bit older. Of course, she doesn't want it all to be about her clothes, and that's totally fine. It's about dressing appropriately. And I just thought, goodness me, you've just proved the point by deriding Catherine as a little dolly princess, because she isn't a little dolly princess. And if that's what you want, Daily Mail, just to have some nice pictures to put on the front page of your newspaper, then that's not what you're going to get anymore. Exactly. And I fully endorse that. I think it's great. Actually, I always used to encourage Catherine to do more, to speak out more, to use her role, to have the confidence, because honestly, what people don't know about Catherine Tasha, she is cripplingly shy behind the scenes. She, in the past, would always prefer William to take the lead in significant meetings and that type of thing. I love this new Catherine. She is no dolly, and I don't give a damn if she wants to dress a little bit more appropriate. Well, not appropriately. What would you say? A little bit more formally or less colourfully when she's at a damn prison, or she's visiting cancer patients.
Yeah, she's not going to be rocking around, as I said, in a bright pink ball gown and a tiara. And just while I'm finishing off the rant, as for, obviously, they were talking about the fact that Catherine and William didn't go to the BAFTAs. Given everything she went through last year, where she could have died, let's be honest, cancer can switch just like that. And she has gone through so much. If she wants to skip the BAFTAs, which was just a red carpet event, to go on holiday with her family, then good for her. Good for her. People begrudging her 1 minute saying, oh, well, she's a dolly bird, and then they're complaining that she's actually chosen the priority of taking her children on holiday rather than dressing up in a ball gown. So, yeah.
Couldn't agree more. I'm fully with you on that. And there's much more where that came from. If you follow, according to Taz on social media, subscribe on YouTube. And Tash, we will speak again very soon. Thank you so much.
Remember, this isn't just about Camilla. It's about power, legacy, and a prince who refuses to be silenced. The stakes have never been higher, and the world is watching closely. The royal family, once seen as untouchable, now faces unprecedented scrutiny. This moment could redefine the future of the British monarchy, challenging traditions that have stood for centuries. The 2027 Invictus Games could be Prince Harry's boldest and most controversial move yet. Whether it's revenge, rebellion, or just reckless PR, one thing is clear: the royal family rift isn't healing anytime soon. Drop a comment below. Do you think this is a deliberate act of revenge or just bad timing?